All right, you want to do a little test level?
Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Microphone check.
You got to go a little louder than that, man.
Microphone check.
There
1
you go.
2
That's
1
who
2.
I want to hear. That's
There
who
we
I want
are,
to hear.
and
That's
we're back.
it. So, are we back?
Basically.
I got Carlito on the other side there, man. It's just two mics today.
And I got
hang on a
Manny
sec.
on the other side.
Hang on a sec. I just said it's two mics today, but there's no mic here. And I'm Mike. God bless, man. No ill will, nothing at all. I don't care. I'm not, and it's not a pot shot. Seriously.
Well, his heart's still into it.
Yeah.
He's got things going on for himself.
I want to talk a little bit about, we took this huge break because it was hard, man.
Well, the industry's hard.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah. Everybody's got a day job.
This is a really hard business,
Yeah.
especially if you're passionate and your heart's bigger than your head. Guys that are making the real money in this business are making it because they're smart.
Yeah.
They're in, they're out. They're not giving you anything more or anything less. They're just doing what you pay.
Exactly. That's all you're doing, right?
And there's guys that are passionate that want to make a difference in everyone's lives. Like I'll speak
I
for
want
myself.
to. I want to. I know you want
make
to.
a difference. I want to be proud. I want people to brag about my work.
I'm glad that you agreed. We talked about this for a little bit. I know I've been dropping all these little hints online, and I've been using my Manny Mondays to tell people that the Construction Life podcast is going to be back. It is back as of now, and Carlito
We're
and
back,
I,
baby. We're back. T.O., baby.
it's good to be back, right? So I mean,
good.
we're gonna do it when we have time. So we're not gonna guarantee that it's always gonna be a weekly kind of thing. But the thing is that we are gonna do it the way we started it, and we're gonna continue talking about the stuff that we were talking about, which is construction.
Well, you know what, Manny? This came out of us going out for dinner
Yeah.
and enjoying each other and talking about construction, and it was an unwind time. And you know, when we sat down and we talked, and when we were sitting down and eating and drinking and enjoying and talking about our jobs, we were therapeutically cleansing ourselves of
sure.
all the garbage that we take in every single day, from bad customers, from other bad contractors, just the industry itself.
It wasn't an ego trip. It wasn't about, oh, look, we want to become celebrities or anything like that. It wasn't. It's just like we were having those conversations that all you guys have in construction, like on site, in the truck, when you're carpooling, whatever. We were all having those same conversations, and we were like, okay, so why isn't it this way? Why isn't it that way?
Well, I think people are afraid to speak their mind.
They get nervous.
They're
Criticism.
too worried about.
We're in our late 40s. We don't care about criticism.
That's right. But people are worried about potential customers. Don't really want to have, but they want to have them. Or someone wants to get sponsored for money or product.
I want to be careful.
And everyone wants to do this now. Like everybody's on the. And you know what?
There we go.
It's been so long. I didn't turn off my phone.
So Carlito broke his chair right there by not turning his phone off. That's why it's so real going on here. But Carlito, I got a little story to tell you, man.
Okay.
I was actually at Marble there, and I got introduced to this guy, this other thin set cement kind of rep, Italian company. And he goes up to me and he says, like, you use Mapei? And I was going, yeah, I use Mapei. And he goes, well, we're like Mapei. You know what I mean? We're just smaller in Italy. I was like, okay, fine. So I can't remember the name of the company. I don't want to share the name of the company. But so he starts telling me he's going through the product line, and all of a sudden he's like going, do you use Mapei's LFT? And I was going, of course I do. So he goes, well, this is the equivalent to LFT. And then I'm looking at the brochure, and I'm like looking at the name of the product, and the product's called STD.
I love it.
And I'm like, your product is called STD. So he doesn't pick up Italian, right? So all of a sudden I keep on going, your product is called STD. And he goes, yeah. He goes, what's the problem? I was going, your product is called sexually transmitted disease. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I don't know. Okay. And he didn't put the two together, but the way it's translated in Italy, right? So it becomes
Right.
STD. But the problem is, can you imagine being on site and all of a sudden you're like, hey, mix up a box.
And then someone's going to think you have a disease at work if they don't hear the whole conversation.
Clean the bucket out of STD, okay?
The only good part about that is once you get that bug or that disease, you can't go to any other thin set. It's brilliant in a weird way.
You're stuck on that. Okay, so back to the construction life. What do we
Manny,
want to talk about
Dude,
today?
it's just good to see you, and it's
great
good
to
be
see you.
back.
It's great to see you.
Just to say it, like, this is just what's on my mind, and I talk to a lot of people. They don't want to talk to anyone else and admit to.
Are they afraid?
People are very afraid. People are so worried about other people's opinions. I don't care.
I didn't realize.
I do care. I do care, but I don't care.
I didn't realize that there was a construction bubble that we had to worry about here.
You know what? It's always been there, and I think that's what's made us do this. Everyone tippy toes around not swearing, honest, having their own opinion. Not everybody's opinions. You like Mape. I'm a tech guy. We don't.
But we don't fight.
Yeah.
We get along, right?
We make a lot of jokes to each other.
About each other's products
But,
and stuff like that. But
yeah.
whatever works for you, works for you,
Yeah,
right? But
or
the
what
thing
you
is,
feel comfortable
why
with.
does everybody have to be so sensitive about what or how? Sorry, it's not what they say, how they say it.
How they say
Like the
it.
thing is, I'm not fucking. I think anybody who knows me or who's followed me on social media has a pretty good idea that I do not give a fuck on what I say, man. Seriously.
Well, you know what? Let's catch everybody up. We were doing really well. We ended up having, I believe, 18 podcasts.
16 podcasts.
Okay, so we had a couple more, but we didn't put them out.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly,
So we
right?
had 16 out, and I had a lot of fun with them. And I really, since then, have opened my mind up to so many new things, having conversations with people. It's so stimulating to have conversations about what we talk about.
It's been a year. It's been a
Yeah.
year, and it's amazing how you've been in the construction industry 20 years, 2 decades?
30.
30 years. Holy
30
shit,
years.
3 decades, right?
I'm older than you.
I know, just a tad.
I
But
like
the
saying
thing is,
that.
don't you find it interesting that in the last year that we actually took a break of the podcast, that it has changed dramatically?
You know what? The industry's really changed. It may not for other people. For me, it did. I found that I wasn't getting I didn't always have the customer I wanted.
Were you having a lot of customer problems, client problems?
You know what? People are doing basements for $40,000.
This is what pisses me off is that if you give them a quote, they're going to go, you're way too high. And then they're going to find somebody else that's going to
But
do
you
it
know
for
what?
far less.
I get the phone call to go fix up the bad mistakes.
Then that's the old, it's going to cost you more
And it costs
twice.
them double. And
right?
we have this conversation. Sometimes it even costs them triple. I'm actually talking to a customer right now. She was telling me she just fired 4 contractors.
Why?
I'm going to go see her after this podcast.
4. How does
and
a client? How does a client
for you
go
next time?
How does a client go through 4 contractors?
Well, basically, a lot of here it goes again, the basically part. I've had a lot of customers in my past. They always call me to fix someone else's work.
because they trust you.
That's my MO.
They trust you. Like I've said a lot of things, and I kind of upset clients. Like I've actually said, clients are the dumbest people in the room when it comes to construction, right? I've said that, and a few other things as well. But the thing is, clients still respect that I respect the industry. They still respect that I respect crews that do good work. They respect the fact that I can bring the best to the table. It doesn't matter if I say that, and I'm not doing that to piss them off. I'm doing it because that's who I am as a person. This is me. I swear, this is what I say. I'm opinionated. If you ask my opinion, I will tell you truth. I won't sugarcoat it. I'm not going to like, oh, did I really hurt your feelings? You want to hug? You want to hug it out? No, I'm not interested in that shit. You ask me a question, I'm going to give you a direct answer.
You know, I never asked you this, Manny, because I was so, I'm always in awe with your work, dude. Like, you go really
Yeah, I go
above
fucking too
and
far
beyond.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's
Way
crazy,
too far
dude, and I
sometimes.
love it. I really love it. You are making new paths.
Thanks, buddy.
You know, it's not just following a path, you're making new roads, new paths.
Appreciate that, man.
Why do you think people hire you, honestly?
I think they hire me because they want me to actually not think outside the box. They want me to build a motherfucking new box. They want me to come up with
Something different.
You know what's really interesting is that I just finished the white reno, and that was the hardest reno I ever did. Most exhausting, most mentally, physically draining. And as soon as I finished it and I'm doing the final assembly, you know that sweet part? The sweet part. It's like you're putting the wall plates on. You're just doing the little touches, and you're really conscious
polishing,
of. Yeah, you're like your
cleaning.
footwear. You're like going, oh, I got to change that. I can't. Oh no, it's raining outside. I got to be careful. You know that whole thing, right?
Right.
And what was happening? My wheels were spinning about trying to figure out how to do a different kind of shower than this one. I was actually coming up with new ideas, and I came up with a new idea. And as soon as I did that, I contacted a few people, and I started asking questions because that's what I do.
So
And
what did you do?
what do you mean? I'm not going to tell you the idea. You want me to tell you the idea? I can't tell you the idea. It's a new idea, new floor, new drain, new idea, new system about. I came up with this idea where I'm always fascinated. Listen, I
think
love.
I saw some of the pictures. You're also putting the drains on the outside now.
Yeah. So I just like, you love Schluter, right?
I love Schluter. Always have.
You're going to hate me because we did a Schluter podcast without you. It was pretty good. We did it with Todd, but maybe we'll do another one. We'll do another one when we go back and we'll go talk to him.
I've known
right?
that guy 30 years. Helped
Todd's
me out
great.
a lot.
And Omid was there. The tile guy
No
was there,
way.
and he
I
was
love
great,
him.
right? So
Love him.
he loved his work, right? So the thing is that I love all those products and that they look great and stuff like that. Thing is, I want drains to disappear. I don't want to see them. I want to take a shower, and I don't want to know that I can see the drain. As much as those drains are beautiful and everything like that, I want to disappear. That's the basis of the new idea that I got. I want to make a disappearing shower drain that is a working shower drain.
But you could still maintain it,
course,
clean it out.
Of course.
Right. Okay.
That's the beauty of it, right? So you have to still
Reinventing.
think that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll go talk to Schluter, I'll go talk to other companies, I'll try to figure it out.
Manny, but that's what I like about you.
You have to.
Some people will just take a product and just keep using it. And
You
keep
have
using
to.
It and,
You have to.
And they'll do really well. They'll be successful. And they'll just keep doing that. And then there's people like yourself
But now why-
that are reinventing things,
Try.
making things better.
Try. Like, the reality
improving.
is, like, listen, man, we went way past missionary style. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
love missionary. Sorry.
There's more than one, is what I'm trying to say. You can
right.
always reinvent that and
Yeah.
come up with new ideas. So construction should be the same thing. Why aren't we thinking the same thing? There's better ways to hang drywall. There's better ways to frame. There's better ways to run light. All the lights, man. Dude, I went to lighting school when I went to Luminous there, and they were showing me some of the new products, and I was going, you guys are blowing my mind here, man. The shit that I'm thinking about doing with your product is insane.
But it's also overwhelming for the customer.
It is, but if you explain it, like if you do all the homework and you figure out all the tech and the spec and all that shit, and you try to do all the trial and error, and you like, I went through that light inside that shower that I did is beautiful. It was hard, but it's really easy for me to do it now because I can reproduce it because I figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
But it is, in my opinion, the most cinematic, perfect soft lighting in a shower. When it was done, there was, I think it was about 8,000 lumens in that shower. It was running off 182 watts, and it was all soft lighting. This is the shit that I used to do when I was working as a techie in the film business, how we used to do soft lighting, all the beautiful faces, and that's why they look gorgeous. And I'm like standing in the shower, and I'm like going, I'm an all right looking guy, but I look like a superstar in this shower.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man, the lighting was amazing. So I was like, I need to reproduce that.
You know what? That's a great idea because now you can take a shower and you're actually fueling yourself before you go out.
That's the whole idea of these bathrooms.
Subconsciously.
Aren't we supposed to build these bathrooms that make you look beautiful, and then when you go outside?
You know what? It's supposed to be the whole house. But the bathroom is definitely a good spot.
So that's, it's been a year. We haven't done this. A lot of shit has happened on your end. A lot of shit has happened on my end.
Let's talk about it. You know what? I got busy. You got busy. We butt heads a little bit because, you know, there's so much going on in life. You had a lot going on. I had a lot going on. A lot of things have changed for me. I am now on my own. I'm doing my own things. It's been a really long haul. Taxes, the CRA,
Everything.
you know, insurance, the vehicles.
And we want to make sure, listen, Mikey, we love you. We don't hate you. We don't fucking, you're busy. Everybody's busy, right? So this has got nothing to do with like, okay, Mikey's doing his own thing. Now everybody's doing their own thing. That's
Right.
it. That's all it is.
But we're back.
But we're back. You and I have committed to do this when we can do it. And we are going to have guests and we are going to bring people.
Well, at no time did I ever really want to stop.
I didn't want- I know,
wanted to
I know,
go on,
I
but
know.
you know what? I had a partner at the time. You have a partner, you have to do things together. I no longer have a partner, so I can make my own decisions now. I really loved what we did. For me, every time we did an hour or two or talk to, it's
great.
You know what? I walked away with something. I was smarter.
We learned.
Yeah.
We shared.
That's right. And
Yeah.
and you know what? Therapeutic. Talking is good for you.
So we're glad that you guys listen, and we're glad
Yeah,
that
we
you guys
really
are going to
appreciate it.
continue to listen. It's really important to us, and this is going to continue, and we want to continue. But today, this is our first one back. We wanted to just say hello. We wanted to say
Hello.
we're back.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. So the idea is that, what do we want to talk about? That we didn't actually, before we had this menu, we would always...
Well, listen, a lot's changed for me in this last year. I now know what kind of customer I want. I know what...
You're not afraid to say no.
I'm not afraid to say
you meet a
I
customer?
am saying no
Yeah.
all the time now.
That's a big thing that we used to talk about all the time. Don't be scared about saying no.
I think the biggest problem for me in this industry is if you don't save your money, you're going to have problems. If you don't pay your taxes and you don't pay your bills
lot of
and you don't
people-
pay your guys
Yeah.
and your trades,
Yeah.
you're gonna have problems. If you
Self-employed-
if you wait too long for a customer to pay you, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah. You have to think about the future. You
That's
have to
right.
think about, okay, I joke about this all the time, but everything in life has a beginning and has an end, including a construction life.
And you know what? I hate hearing that end part, but this is the truth.
It's reality.
I'm 47 right now. I've been in construction, but I never had a pension.
No. You're self-employed.
Dude, I never had a pension.
You're self-employed.
If you don't have,
Like
if you don't have real estate, if you don't have your money invested in
if
something,
you haven't started doing certain things, trying new ideas, investing shit, doing what Warren Buffett said, where you're actually supposed to be sleeping, and while you're sleeping, you're making money. So if you haven't been doing that, and you're just trying to hustle and catch up to what you're doing, and then you got to deal with your business. You got to deal with your business, man.
But business can get you sick. It can stress you out. It can ruin your family.
Mentally, physically.
It can ruin your relationships
So
with
we
people.
want to dedicate a whole podcast to that. That was something that we wanted to talk about earlier on, where we want to talk about health and mental and just physical stress, anxiety,
Stress is a
all
make or
that
break.
shit. We want to talk. We get it. We get it. Most of the guys that are here that are listening are much younger than us, right? And I get it. We were all there. We were all in our 20s, young, dumb, and fucking full of cum. We were totally there, right?
I still am. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
I'm not going to say that, but it's true. Not Carlito, mine, all right? Fully loaded tanker, all right? So that's just all I'm saying. But the thing is it moving? What's going on? The mic is moving.
It wants me.
So the thing is, we get it. You guys are stronger. You guys are young. And then you think, oh, you're invincible. No, you got to be careful. Physically, mentally, health, you got to be careful.
Well, and I went from being a company owner and taking care of myself and my partner and trying to become a successful company. I forgot something that was really important.
What's that?
What about my guys?
Yeah.
Now you got these loyal guys, the guys that do stick it out with you, they don't want their own business. They just want a full-time job. They want to come to work. They want to love their job, and they want to come to work. And they want to go home happy. What do they have? What do you leave for them?
But there's two groups of those kinds of guys.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking more about
I know. There's the loyal guys that will back you, right? There's the loyal guys, but the guys that come in, just like you described, they'll come in and they'll do a great job and they'll back you and they'll take care of everything and then they go home and they like it. That's it. They come to work and then they go home and they like it, right? Then there's the other group of guys that do the exact same thing but don't give a fuck. They don't care. And that's what it pisses me off. You need to give a fuck. You have to worry, you have to care, you have to factor in. It's not just he's your employer and all of a sudden he's paying you and you come in and you do your job and you get out. No, you have to care. You have to still in the back of your head think, this guy's running a business, this guy's carrying overhead, this guy's paying for a bunch of shit. If you make a mistake, all of a sudden he's got to pay for it. That money comes out of his pocket, not your pocket. If you damage a tool, if you do this or do that or damage something on the homeowner's house or something like that, you have to care.
Why are we here right now? We've both been screwed over by people that we respected, trades that we loved, and we loved what they did. We loved their product. And you know what? They've almost sunk us in many occasions with different customers. I don't have a hate for the industry. The industry's amazing.
I've never hated the industry.
We can do whatever we want. But you know what? People will take you down. Yeah. And you can't let them.
They will knock you down. That's the thing about it, is that clients or the trades or the business itself will knock you down. And some guys will jump ship, and I've seen it. I've seen the comments. The guys will talk about it. I used to be in the construction, and I miss it now because I see the kind of shit that you're doing. You can only imagine what they've been through. And I know that I can always talk to a contractor that has gone down the legal route. You always have to go there, and that's a sad thing. You young guys, excuse me, you young guys that are getting started out, first year, second year, or you're thinking about leaving the boss and starting your own thing, you have to have that legal in the back of your head. It's going to be a part of the equation. That's just the reality of it, right? So at some point, we are going to talk about those two guys that care and don't care. Another podcast, we are going to talk about legal, because I know that's been a lot of questions.
Know what? You've taught me a lot in the last little while. I can't wait for that.
We have to talk. I want to get a lawyer that I like.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm sorry about that.
Unfortunately, they're all the same. They just want your money.
I know. I have a problem is that they come in and all of a sudden they start billing you anywhere from $375 to $550, and they just, they think that's fair.
What happened to making a difference?
Holy
helping
shit.
people.
I know. So we want to talk about that. The other thing that I want to bring on board is this gentleman that I met, Matthew from E-Analytics. This guy is basically changing my business. He did an article for me for the Construction Life website. He's changing my business. And the thing is, I kind of describe this guy like the movie Moneyball. I kind of look at it like what Brad Pitt's character, that coach, was doing for the players, how they were looking at the numbers instead of the plays. They were trying to figure out the numbers instead of the players.
I remember you talking about this guy. He's changed a lot of.
I want to bring this guy on board. I want to talk to him for an hour, and he's going to explain to you about how every one of us is really good at construction. Everyone is really good at renovation, building shit, and doing those fine polishing, all that. Everyone's good at that. But not every one of us is good at business. And this guy will
so
teach you
right.
how to figure out, excuse me, how to build your business better. As much as you build, you have to build your business too. So that's really important. So we're going to have a podcast about that. The lawyer, I'm going to have a shitload of questions for him. I got to find somebody that just is likable, because the thing is that I'm not saying they're assholes. I'm just saying a big chunk of them are assholes.
Well, I'm glad that you're still working on that industry part. For me, it's about money, saving money,
Yeah.
making money,
Yeah.
and retiring.
Retirement is a huge. We have to do a
with
podcast
money
about
retiring
we have
with
to.
money.
And possibly even retiring earlier. Talking about, we have to do a podcast where we're going to be like going, well, what do you do with your business that you established? I know that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was contracting or whatever. And it was a one-man shop. And it was maybe a dad and his brother, or a dad and a son, or something like that, right? And then maybe the son didn't want to do the business. He wanted to get the hell out and do something else. So what do? You close up the doors and you shut up down and that's it? You move on? No, you got to think about all these successful businesses that have been set up.
And why they're successful.
Why they're successful. But the thing is, the guy who started it, he wants to hand it off. That's where the legacy is.
But there is another side to that. A lot of people see the smoke and mirrors.
True.
It's just like Instagram. I'm just
that
using it as
that
an
was weed.
example.
No, I totally. That was weeded out, man.
You see a whole bunch of people, and you're like, oh, they got new vehicles. They have great logos. They're giving away products. They're being sponsored. But then you start doing some footwork, and you find out that these guys are not doing well in construction.
In what way?
And how are they carrying themselves? They're doing what people always told me not to do. Peter paying John, John paying.
Oh, they're doing that little
Yeah,
equation, huh?
Jumping around, not finishing projects,
Can't
not
do
on
that.
time.
It's going to come up and
overwhelming
catch
yourself.
up. It will catch up to you.
Yeah.
I know. It will catch you up. So we're going to do a podcast about that.
Oh, we got
a
lots of
lot of
stuff.
podcasts to talk
Yeah.
about, man. So
Right.
we got a lot of shit to talk about on
Well,
these podcasts.
So what's changed since I've seen you last?
What's changed?
Yeah, you're constantly doing stuff. Like you're still,
I've gotten older.
dude. I know how much time this takes for editing and filming.
No, all that shit. I know. We're shooting something tomorrow for Techno Metal Post. I'm going to say a little Roger for you.
Thank you, please.
So, we're going to have fun there. The only shit thing is supposed to rain tomorrow, but we'll do that. I'm looking forward to it still.
Now, do they shut down in the rain?
No, they don't.
Wow.
We're actually going to do a video where you can screw a pile in the rain.
Wow.
You can screw it in the snow, spring, summer, whatever. You can't do it during the rain while there's lightning and thunder.
Of course, because
That
you
you
have
can't.
metal.
You galvanized rod and lightning.
You know what? I have more questions for him. It's funny, after we did that little episode, and I'm assuming
That was a great one.
Other people have told me their adventures or the things that they've wanted to do, they couldn't do with it. I got a couple questions for Roger.
There's more.
You
We
know,
got to do another show with him. I'll convince him.
It's so weird. You think that in 1 hour you figured it all out.
No.
And then
No.
you have to come back to the drawing board again and start with new questions. And there's tons of questions for everybody.
Yeah.
Something's changed for me is I moved on my own. I actually got a city job.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, 30 years in the industry. I'm 47. You start to really look at life, and you're like, what am I doing? And how much time do I have?
You enjoying it?
Where am I gonna die?
Are you enjoying
Well,
it?
I'm doing more than one thing. I have a full-time gig.
Okay.
It pays really well. I'm working for the city, but I'm doing my own thing.
Okay, good.
I'm doing some franchising on the side with my wife. We have some goals.
So you guys juggling a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I spent a lot and I really want to share this with people. This isn't about me. This is about what I didn't do, what I should have did. There was a lot of things I should have done. When you spend 30 years in the business, you look back and you say, shit, man, that was 30 years. What did I do?
I know.
I got some high moments in my life in construction, but I didn't really succeed to what I wanted to do, and that's what I'm out to do now.
Good. And the thing is, there's a quote I came across. I think it was about how even if you've gone through all this stuff through life and it's been beating you down, and you've had successes, you had failures and all this other shit. The thing is, even if you get to a certain point at a certain age, it doesn't matter if you get it at 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever. Maybe you have the strength to start all over.
And, Manny, we're talking about company owner to a company owner. We have our own businesses. Not everybody has their own business.
No.
There's a lot of people that don't want a business.
No, we don't work 40 hours.
You know what? They just want to go home after a hard day of work.
They love it.
Enjoy their wife.
They love it.
Enjoy their husband. Enjoy their kids. Do their activities. And that's fantastic. I really want to open people's eyes up to doing more with their money and being
That's
ready
huge.
for when they're older. We're here to talk about our failures, our accomplishments, and we're here to help the industry
We all
and
know
give
this.
people some more ammunition to succeed.
Yeah,
That's why we're here.
We all know this, that you don't learn from the successes, you learn from the failures, right? So why not listen to the older guys who've
But do
actually...
you learn from your failures? Do you do it a second time exactly the same? Do you
No,
do it a third
no,
time
you're-
exactly
you're
the
not-
same?
you're not
Or
learning.
do you change?
Yeah, you got to change it. You have to change the way you do it.
Really, why we're here together again is that we both love the industry so much. Like, I love the construction industry. It's a part of my soul. The art side of me, some people do paintings, some people make sculptures. I love building. Now that I have a full-time gig for the city of Toronto, better watch out, I might be an inspector soon. I am now.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
You show up as an inspector.
Well, Manny, now I'm able to work for people that appreciate somebody that loves the business, the industry. And now I'm getting customers that have been beat up, that have tried to save money and be cheap, or be smart cheap. And in the long run, it's cost them more. And now I'm able to pick and
Wait a
choose
second.
better customers.
What's smart cheap?
People say, "Hey, I'm gonna say we're buddies right now, and I want to get my basement done. I'm gonna do my basement for 40,000. I'm not spending 80 or
How many
100.
square feet?
And
what are we square footage wise here? 50?
1,000 to 1,500.
Okay. 40 grand?
40 grand. And that's 1,000 is really.
How is that reasonable?
You can bring a rental unit for that much. Very basic.
So you basically
really
you don't
cheap.
care about your tenants.
Yeah. Well, does anybody really care
No.
about their tenants?
They
just
care
want
about their
money. They
tenants'
want their
money.
mortgages paid. They want to build up their equity to buy another home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some dickhead with some coiffed on his head, or like he keeps on telling you about that. Hey, you just spend a little bit of money in your basement, you can make a lot of money.
Well,
how about spending the correct amount of money?
Well, I want to talk about the magicians out there that make you believe that they're going to be able to give you a great product, and in the long run, they don't. You know, Manny, I'm so happy to be back, dude. I'm ready to sing a song.
You're ready to sing a song. We're not ready for a song. We're not ready for a song. We are not
you know
ready
what?
for a song.
I really want to add something in.
What's that?
From now on,
What's that?
the people that come on sing a song.
100% backed up. That's it. I agree.
I
want
want to see what they have out there.
What Will did at one show where
Dude,
he
that
started
was
singing Frank
amazing.
Sinatra, I was like, you know what? That's actually a good thing. So, you know what? If you want to be a guest on the Construction Life podcast, we're expecting you to start singing. And then we ain't looking for like tenors here. No.
This is about just having fun.
Just having fun, man.
And-
Pick a song and start
Yeah,
singing it, man.
let's see who we
we'll get it
are, where
right
you
in
come
there,
from.
man. I want to just, what else? I want to talk about what you love and what you hate about this business. What's the first thing that pops in your head?
What I love about
Love,
this,
hate, love, hate.
What I love about this business is that you can do anything you want. You can become successful. You can become poor. You can make it or you can fail. You can work for someone. Or you can have your own business. You can sell something or you can make something. You can invent something. This industry is amazing. It's fueling this country. What I hate is that this business is overwhelmed with people that just want money, and they don't want to give back to the community, the customer, the industry.
I've preached this over and over that anybody who has made it in this business has an obligation to give back. It's not just this business, but any
But not
industry.
sell out. I hear it all the time. People always tell me, "Oh, you'll do it for the money." I haven't done it for the money. That's why I'm poor.
Where's the
still.
money? Show me the money. I don't understand where the
That's
money
right.
is, man. Show the money. I totally agree with you.
But you know what? I'm happy and I have pride,
Yes, that's really proud.
and I'm not hiding from anybody.
That's important, right? So
Nobody's chasing me, and I've paid all my bills.
what I love about this business is knowing that when I do build something, I feel pretty confident it will not be renovated for a very long time, if it ever is renovated.
You know, you'll probably.
I'm gonna be dead.
It will. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
We were laughing about that the other day.
I love that. I love that. I feel that proud, just like you said, that I've put what I possibly can into that work, that it's going to last that long.
Well, dude, life is short, man. You gotta do it fast, and you've got to be happy with what you've done.
That goes to what I hate
the
about this business.
consequences of
I
the
hate
actions.
I hate the fly by nights. I hate the guys that'll come in and they'll tell clients that they can do it for half the price that you can do it for.
Yeah, you said what do you love and what you don't love. What I do love is that since the last time I spoke to you, I have a whole different opinion of the industry. So it sounds like we're talking about the same thing, but it's not. I have a totally different outlook to this.
You're looking at
industry.
it differently.
I came from my last few years with television, and then I went into
What show was
business. Homes on Homes. I loved it, by the way. And I ended up in a.
I love the first season, and then once he fucking sold
you
out,
loved me in it.
I actually was always curious about Carlito and what he was up to. I didn't give a shit about Mikey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So and then I got into business thinking I was going to make another difference. But what I realized is that my outlook to life and business is different than anyone else's. And I have a different family. I speak a different language. I eat different food. But one thing I do know is that you and me have a lot in common.
Oh, for sure we do.
We wanna talk and we want to give back. And I'm hoping that we're entertaining people, giving some people some insight, giving some people some insight. And you know what? I love to talk. Mm-hmm. So when I get to meet people and they say, "Hey man, on that episode, I didn't like that, or I didn't like this."
Really? Why? Tell me.
I didn't like Manny. And I'm like, why? I like him.
Get in fucking line. Get in line, all right? There's a line of guys who don't like Manny, okay? So I don't give a shit.
Just joking. There's a lot of people that love you too. Dude.
I don't give it. There's a handful.
So, I mean, you know what? We're back, you and me. It's going to be...
We keep saying we're back.
Yeah. I'm so stoked. This is so exciting for me. Being across here, and I'm looking forward to hearing your phone calls and the ideas. Because you actually... This podcast actually makes me better in business.
Because we learn.
Well, you got to be careful what you preach. Be careful what you wish for. Sometimes what you wish for will come true. Communicating with you, challenging you with different products and different ways. I fuel my mind. I become more creative. And that's what I'm hoping we can do to someone else. Inspiring people.
You know what's really simple? It's actually really, really simple. You want to problem solve and you want to change the industry. I'm talking construction only because I'm not going to get into other industries, right? But you get a bunch of guys or girls and girls, everybody together that care. And they get into a room and they talk about how do we make this better? And they come up with better ideas and they contribute to better ideas. And everyone has left their ego at the door. They don't give a fuck about how many followers they have on the Instagram. They don't give a fuck about how many likes they got. They don't give a fuck about any of that shit. All they care about is speaking to the right reps, figuring out the right information, speaking to the clients, trying to figure out better ways to build, learning from other people outside of North America. Because I'm sorry to say, North America is not the center of the universe when it comes to construction. There's a lot of great construction going on outside of North America. I'm really sorry to say that. And if that pisses off any North Americans here, I'm sorry, but that's the reality of it. And I actually enjoyed the very early days of my Instagram when I was getting reached by all these guys that were Switzerland, Finland, Italy, Portugal, Brazil, Australia. And they were telling me about how they were doing things. And I was like fascinated by that shit. Like the reality is that, I'm sorry, man, they do build really well. Europe builds really well because their utilities are so expensive. They have to build well. They have to build homes a certain way. They have to build apartments a certain way. So we have bigger units, bigger homes. We're wasteful, all this other shit. We're trying to figure out these. Yeah, we're trying to figure out better ways to build. We're trying to zero and all this other shit. The best way to zero it is by not building. You know what I mean? But the reality is that Europe and Asia and Australia, they are building better. So we should be listening to those guys. And with today's digital age, it's easy to reach out to them.
You know, it's interesting you just said that. I spent a lot of time going to Europe. I've been to Europe 25 times. But if you're not traveling and seeing other places and other ways of building, your world's so small. It's not. You're totally right. Another thing is you're very active on Instagram.
Yeah. Not as much as I used to.
I have completely disconnected
you disappeared.
myself. Yeah,
I know. You haven't done anything.
I wanted to reboot myself. I wanted to find out what was important to me. And in that time, I'm now doing a cleanup. And I think that every few years or months, you should do a cleanup. But
you purge.
Being offline has been interesting for me. Like you've been very social on Instagram,
on the gram,
on the interweb, and I haven't. But I've spoken to people. I'm like, hey man, are you okay? And I'm like, actually, I'm never better. Just because I'm not entertaining you on Instagram, jumping around, making a fool of myself, doesn't mean that I'm not doing well. I'm actually doing better now than I was before. Because now I see the gold aligning.
You ever travel, right? So there's a lot of times that this happens. When I travel, and you go to specific places, and all of a sudden you get all the tourists there. Tourists are always going to be everywhere. It's just how it is, right? I try to travel in off season so there aren't that many tourists. What I'm fascinated by sometimes is the amount of tourists that are so focused on getting their phone or their tablet or their camera to photograph the scenario that's there, the scene, instead of just standing there and taking it in. You know how many times that I've actually traveled and not raised my camera to take a picture? And I just...
And you wish you did. So
No, because I'm either with somebody that took it or whatever. The point is that I actually, for the first few moments, I absorb where I am and I see what's going on. Then I'll probably catch a photo.
Well, another thing I want to talk about you instead of myself.
What the fuck you want to talk about me?
One thing I wish I could do is that you have a big set of balls. Okay. And I don't mean literally, like I don't see a big set of balls, but what I'm saying to you is you have made your priorities, you have your dreams, and you've traveled, and you still travel. I don't know if anyone knows, but you travel a lot.
I have to travel.
And that's really, that's so important to like meet people, better ideas. You're an inventor.
You have to travel.
Reinventing something that's already, but you know what? We're better than our parents for a reason. We reinvented their ways. They taught us something amazing.
They taught us enough.
They passed it on, and then we made it better. And that's what we're supposed to do. Right?
That goes back to you have to give back. I'm not hugely successful. That's not the reality of it. And the thing is that even though my t-shirts cost me a lot of fucking money to actually produce and ship out and get them out there, I still have yet to this day to sell one. I've never sold one t-shirt. And I think I've given out, I think I'm up to about 400 t-shirts I've given out, right? So they ain't cheap. But
I hope you're giving them to all the right people.
I'm giving them to a bunch of guys. Because
anyone that's wearing your shirt should be And you know what? This is another thing. I really want to do an episode on trust. A customer hires someone, they trust you, and then what do? You leave them hanging?
You can't do that.
You screw them over?
You can't do that.
I really want to get into that too.
We want to defend the clients. We'll do an episode where we talk about the clients in the best way. I want to tell you something that happened interesting, right? Recently, right? So I did a post, I think you probably saw it, right? Where I did a post where I was going to give out my consultation services for free.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, how'd that work out?
It's great. It's actually turned out great. At first, I was against it. Someone suggested it, and I just said,
"It's your time.
It was time.
It's your life."
I was like, "What are you talking about? Like,
it still costs you money for not being somewhere else."
I don't have time to do this. I barely have time to do what's already going on." And then all of a sudden, they kept on saying, "Listen, I think you'll like it." And what I found really interesting is that it went fast. Like I said, 7, right? 7, and it went like minutes. People reached out to me, and I said the first 7 to reach out to me, and it went fast.
Wow.
So they DM'd me, and then I connected with them on an email, and then all of a sudden,
done all 7?
No, I haven't done all 7. Okay. I've done 3 so far.
All
right. I've got 2 more booked on Friday. I've got another one booked on Saturday, and then I've got the remaining ones to do next week. The thing is that it actually is a really good idea to do this. I'm walking into this home with no expectations. I'm just walking in to help these people.
You're not worrying about selling yourself.
No.
You're not being someone that you don't want to.
No.
That you're not.
Exactly.
You're actually just going in to give them your peace of mind and your advice.
My professional opinion on
love it, dude. That's how a contractor should behave.
That's bingo. That's exactly what I just discovered when I walked into the first one. And then all of a sudden, the person who suggested I do this, I contacted them and I was like, "You won't believe what just happened." And they knew that that's what happened. I had blinders on, right? But I mean, I would recommend to any contractor out there.
Well, I'm also worried about someone calling you up and then not liking you and having a fight with you.
You know, now that I've said this, all of a sudden that might happen. But I think the 7 it's actually been 9, right?
7's a good number, though. I like that.
I know it's 7, but the thing is, 2 other ones reached out to were like fan favorites. They've been following me for a long time, and they pleaded and they just said, "Please, please, please, please." I probably
I've been following you for a long time.
I know, but you don't need my consultation services, all right?
No, I do. You've got a lot. You've got a lot to teach me, man.
No, but it's been great. So you walk in, so yeah, sure. So travel time and the time to be there, it's been good, and it's something that I think every contractor should do. I think it's important. You walk in there with no expectations, and all of a sudden they start asking you a bunch of questions, and you're being really truthful, honest, and you're giving them options about good, bad, or worse, or whatever. Like
honesty sells itself.
Exactly. And then by the end of it, they start talking to you about, "Are you available? Can you do it?" And you're like, you didn't walk in there for that. You walked in there just to help some people out and give out your information because you have this information. And I started thinking, well, what if we all did that? What if the contractors actually offered that? They just, I don't know, once a month, they just said, "Listen, I'm going to offer my services to come to you, like 2-3 people, whatever, a month." You never know. You might actually get one or two or all three.
It's funny you say that. Like, obviously, I did a lot of charity work and volunteer work while I was partners with Mike at Creatix. We once gave away a day of us coming by and fixing something up.
I remember that.
And at first we were like, what do we get ourselves into? We need to make money. We need to pay our bills. We need to keep the guys busy. Business is business, man. There's only so much time in the day.
But it was good.
You know what? We met this guy, Darren. We ended up going to his house. He is now a friend for life.
Nice.
I never knew the guy before.
Nice.
And what I walked away from was a great feeling.
You know what else happened? They asked my opinion about who I should suggest for certain trades. So could you recommend somebody, Manny? They also asked, where would you recommend I go for supplies? Where would you recommend I go for tile, for hardwood? All of a sudden I started realizing, wait a minute. Then email started going out. I just sent out an email today, 12 of my guys.
Wow.
So here are their names. Here are their numbers.
But these are guys that proved it to you.
Yes.
They're not just talk. They proved it. They finished every job they started for you.
Here you go, right? The only one on that list that I haven't personally worked with, but I definitely recommended, was Natasha from Natural Carpentry.
Wow.
And it was really funny.
Sometimes out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, right?
It was just, no, she popped in my head because the thing is, the clients asked me, listen, I really want a framer that I could totally trust. And the first one that came to my mind was that talk that we had with Natasha. So all of a sudden I said, I would recommend Natasha from Natural Carpentry. She goes, that's really interesting. I actually found her through the people that you're following on your page.
So sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you forgot and then you wish you did.
No.
You did remember.
I did remember. I totally remember.
She's quite the character. You can't forget her.
On that list of people that I recommended, she's the only one that I've never worked with, but I definitely recommended. I totally think that she's going to deliver.
Well, dude, she does Heritage Homes. This is a special person.
That's why I was like, you got to contact this person. I definitely think you're going to do a great job. Like, she'll do an amazing job. She'll take care of this house. This is an older house. And so I sent off this list of trades, and then I also sent off a list of suppliers to go to. And then, of course, I just said, you know what? Mention my name if you like. Think about it. So you're offering your services to go out there. You're doing a consultation. You're going in there with no expectations whatsoever. You're being truthful and honest to the client. Then all of a sudden they start feeling great with you because they're not thinking that you're trying to get this job from them.
Manny, I love where you're going with this, man.
It worked.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to abuse this, but it worked.
But you know what? I want to talk about something too with you here. Like you're making, the lights are just going off.
It's like my car's breaking down, but it's a good thing.
The one thing I do remember is that you did shout outs to
all the time
people that pretended that they were, or they made you believe that they were fantastic tradespeople. They would finish the job. They would do whatever it takes. I would love to do an episode on people you don't recommend anymore.
Well, here's the funny thing is that, okay, so surprise, I've butted heads with a few people in this industry.
We all have. I mean, you know what? We go out of our way. We put our own reputation on the line.
Exactly.
And we're not making a dime off these guys.
Exactly.
And then you're getting phone calls.
I know. They did some shit work, and they did all this other stuff.
And you got to drop them. But people still think you're involved with that person.
I know. That's the problem. So the thing is that a recommendation, and this is not ego. I'm not putting my ego into the equation here.
You've earned this.
A recommendation from Manny from Hardcore Rentals is actually pretty valuable. I think it is.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do the job
You're a pretty difficult guy in a great way.
Well, because I have certain expectations, right?
Yes.
So all of a sudden, if you want to be a
100%,
dickhead,
and then put 50 on top.
Exactly.
That's 150.
if you want to be a dickhead and not do a good job and walk away from it because you're fucking thinking, fuck this shit, I don't care about this shit, no way, I don't care, whatever. You know for a fact that a recommendation from Manny at Hardcore Rentals is actually going to help you get business. Do you think me saying anything negatively about you is going to do anything? It does.
It does. But you know what? Here's another thing.
And it has.
Every trade I use, every person I meet, they all have their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
These guys that you've brought work to, they know what your expectations are. They should be delivering those expectations.
Yeah.
And you know what? I really think that you spent so much time giving out so much publicity to so-called great people. I really think we should spend some time exposing the really bad guys that don't keep their word, that are pieces of crap, that are giving us a bad name and making it hard for us to make a real dollar.
I'm just laughing right now because we should probably do...
I love this industry.
We should probably do the legal one right before that one.
Sure, whatever you want. You know what? We should make a list like we did before and start afresh again.
Listen, man, I don't want to I don't want to change my construction life to the lawyer life. You know what I mean? So we have to be a little careful.
And I do want to say something right now. You and me have been pretty serious right now. and we're known to be.
What do you mean? The last hour we've been serious?
Yeah, we've just been catching up. But
Got it.
I want everyone to know that this is just you and me catching up.
Yes.
But we're gonna be funny and loud and obnoxious.
This one's been funny. This one's been great, man. This is fine. No.
wait
We've got
to
a lot of
see who
ideas.
we're bringing on.
We gotta have amazing guests.
And you know what? I hate saying it, but there's a 4th seat available now. That means we can bring some
two
real,
guests.
Yeah.
2 guests.
How about some debates?
Oh yeah.
2 people, same industry, different type of people.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah. Are
That's
you the rep
interesting.
for me?
No, I'm just gonna sit and enjoy it. I'm gonna listen. That's all I'm gonna do.
This is going to be an interesting year, man.
I know. We've got a lot to talk about, right? So, what else you want to just drop right now before we wrap it up?
You know what, Manny? I wanna see what you've been doing with your vehicles. I haven't.
My vehicles need
And
to be
your tools,
organized
and
right
your
now.
tools.
I'm jealous right now because Flo, my painter,
I do work with Flo myself still.
he's got a brand spanking 2019 Sprinter, man. He's got more bells and whistles.
He bought a
and
Sprinter.
Oh man, he's got
What
a
happened to that beautiful little 40? He had? It was
he hated
perfect.
that thing. He hated that thing.
Really?
He turned it into a 3-seater. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It's got a hefty price tag, but it is gorgeous, man. There's a lot of safety. There's a lot of awareness. That's what I like about it. I like what Mercedes has done with that van. They've made it.
It's not the van that made him. It's him making the van.
No.
It's him making the van.
Exactly. He didn't get it for ego. He got it for business. But what I like what Mercedes has done with that van is that the reality is that we drive our vans more than we drive our personal vehicle.
Dude, I sold both of my cars because I'm either in my van or my pickup
all
truck.
the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so why not make that as comfortable and efficient and tech heavy? Oh, why not? That makes so when Mercedes introduced a new van and they had all these bells and whistles, I'm like, that's smart, and I know exactly why they did it. Because we spend, like, just think about it. It's 2 hours a day easily. 2 hours a day that we spend in the van. 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week.
Listen, I've been doing something for 30 years, and I'm sure that 99% of the guys out there have done it. Actually, no, I should say 90% of the guys.
What's that?
So I'll tell you the 10%, and I'll tell you the 90%.
What's that?
So first of all, the 10% don't do what I do are the guys that are late every day, the guys full of excuses, the guys missing work, okay? That's the 10% that I'm talking about. The 90% that do what I do is show up an hour early. Instead of rushing to work, I'm sitting outside the customer's house already.
Just chilling,
And I'm taking
waiting.
a nap in my car, relaxed, ready to start a beautiful day.
So I come
in
by and I just like,
yeah, because Manny's up at 4 working out. And by the way, you're looking pretty buff, bro. I'm actually proud of you. You know what? I'm going to start push-ups tonight.
you know what it is, man? I think it was earlier this year that I realized that The Rock is the same age as us.
Wow.
Dwayne Johnson's the same age as us.
Except he looks like The Rock.
Fuck. So when I started looking at certain guys, like, and don't get me in on, like, Brad Pitt's 56, man. Brad Pitt's almost got a decade on us.
Wow.
What the fuck? So these guys are looking pretty good in their age, man.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, you know what, you young punks, I want to try another stab
Good for
at
you,
it.
Manny.
That's why I've been working out, and I've been still staying working
You know
out.
what? And I'm actually happy you talked about age. One really important thing I want to talk about in the future is that when I was younger in my 20s, someone had said something to me and it had actually stuck in my head for 20 years after the fact. And they had said, whatever you do, by the time you're 40, that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Really?
When you're 40, whatever you're doing, that's what... And you know what? They were wrong. What I did realize is that there are people out there that will push and become better and never give up and never allow anything to sink them. I really want to talk about pushing forward, never giving up on your dream, inspiring, motivating, and enjoying life. Life is not boring, and this industry is not boring.
No.
But I do have a lot of shit things to say about a lot of assholes.
We can't wait to hear that list. Are you going to reveal names?
You know what? This time around, I think I'm going to.
Oh, there we go. So that'll be lots of fun. Do you want to join the podcast about assholes? Carlito is going to be doing all the talking.
I'm hoping some guys are going to give you a call and they're going to want to jump on board because you know what? I don't want people coming here pretending the world's perfect.
It's not.
I want to talk about, do they give their guys pensions? Do they give their guys benefits? Do they
educate them?
Yeah.
Do they take care of them? Do they think about
And you're right. The one thing that I enjoyed about working for the Homes Group, working for the city, is it's constant education, safety,
You're always
awareness, there's constant learning. And if you forget to learn, you got a problem.
Well, that's why you butt heads with certain guys that keep on telling you that's not how we should do it.
I'm
We've
also-
done it this way for 25, 30,
I'm also
50.
in a competition with a lot of guys that don't have insurance, that don't have a business license.
That's another one that we should talk about. The cash contractors.
Yeah,
The cash contractors.
That's right. And you know, listen, the tax man's horrible. I'm the first one against them. They are juicing us large.
Yeah.
Like,
So you got to know how to run a
penalties.
business.
You know, you
I know.
give your bills. You give your bills to the government, and then you get a letter 6 months later with penalties on it because they don't want to accept your gas receipts. And I'm like, what?
So we have to do an accounting episode.
I want to talk about taxes. I want to talk about accountants. There's a lot of really cool stuff to learn.
There's a
about
lot
this.
of shit to talk, but we also still want to get into the whole nitty gritty. I want to talk about design. I want to talk about my design issues that I have. You know what I mean? Like the whole pretty fucking kitchen and shaker and the way people design kitchens these days to make them look pretty and not fucking function properly. I want to talk about that.
You've always had a problem with
I've always
this.
had a problem
Yeah.
with that. I don't want a fucking magazine-looking kitchen that doesn't fucking function properly.
right.
I want a kitchen that functions properly. That
you're
cooks
using
properly.
but you're
I
using
fucking
every
cook.
cabinet,
You
every drawer.
fucking cook. We
Well,
fucking
listen,
cook.
the only-
Everybody fucking cooks.
The only way I cook is either barbecue or if I go out with my
Then put a barbecue in the
or my
kitchen.
interact and I say, I'm gonna make a burger. Thank you. Can I have that with fries?
No, but we all cook now. So the thing is, we got to make these kitchens that work. And bathrooms. Bathrooms have to work. So I want to talk about design. I want to talk about all kinds of shit. I want to have the designers back on.
Have you taken anyone on new?
What do you mean?
Since we've since I've kind of been so busy and not been able to communicate and nobody
Flo,
knew.
Flo would be my newest guy, I guess, that he's on his own now. And I call him first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've actually called him a few times
He's
myself.
busy.
He's pulled through for me, man.
Yeah, he's busy, right? So
Yeah.
he's busy doing great work.
And built a great reputation for
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
He cares, and you see it when he works. When you see a guy prep a whole house before he paints and spends a week prepping the house before he starts,
I know.
you have to have respect for the guy.
You can easily. Okay, so
It's just when he cleans up. That's the most important part.
He's a little lazy with his fucking coffee cups being left everywhere or empty pop cans being left everywhere. I fucking or half empty ones. I can't stand that, right? So it's
Manny garbage cans.
oh fuck, I can't stand that, right? But the thing is that you can speak to him and for 2 seconds you'll know right off the bat that guy cares about construction.
Yeah.
And it's not he's not selfish about other contractors. He'll help other contractors.
I got into a bind one week. I had taken a job on because I had a couple guys, and those guys all called in sick. And I had no
For what
one.
reason?
I had no one. I was already juggling 2 other jobs.
Was it just a plague or what was going on?
They were honestly just sick.
Oh, everybody was
These
just
guys
sick.
are stand-up guys.
Got it.
I love them to this day. Anyways, we had planned to do a paint job. They had to bail out on me. I called Flo, and because of the relationship sometimes you build as a contractor to a contractor, or not even just a contractor, you build a relationship with people. If they enjoy you and they like you, they'll always be there for you.
Yep.
And Flo said, I'll be there tomorrow. And you know what? I got the project done, and the people got what they needed before their daughter got married.
And he took their shit. That's
Yeah.
it. That's exactly how it
Yeah.
works, right? So
And I actually made a little bit of money on Flo.
good. That's
Yeah.
how you should. That's how it
Cleaning
should
up.
be. It should.
That was a low blow, Flo.
Flo's not going to listen to this anyway. I did a shout out for Flo today, man, on my Working Wednesday. I'm bringing back
you?
Working Wednesday, right? Every
for
Wednesday,
you.
I'm going to do a shout out to a guy. Okay, so the guys that I'm going to start with my guys that I know that I've worked with, and then I'm going to do shout outs to other guys. But you better fucking step up and
Okay,
you
so
know.
I want to really one more thing. I mean, I got a lot of things, but I want to keep it low.
We're close-
I don't
we're
want
close to wrapping it up.
The
We're close
one
to
thing I
wrapping it up.
don't want to do is bore anyone on a podcast. That's what I don't.
I don't
wanna
think
do.
any of our podcasts
No,
were
but
boring.
I never. I don't want to have it in the back of my mind, but I definitely want to have someone enjoy everything we talk about.
Yeah. I don't want to stroke fucking egos. I don't give a shit about stroking egos, and I don't want to be censored, and I don't give a fuck what I say about certain products and all this other shit. I don't care, right?
I would like to have an episode, and it's more like a challenge from me to you. I would like to put a 365-day number, a goal. I want to talk about your goals for this year for 365 days, and I want to see what
I like
we
that.
both accomplish
I like that.
at this podcast 365 days from now.
I fucking like that.
I wanna hear what you wanna do. I wanna hear what you wanna do, but I wanna see what you accomplish, and I wanna do the same for myself.
You know what? Okay, so you know what? I fucking love that, Carlito. I totally love that. So we're starting this thing all over again.
Because I don't want to be talked, dude. Like if I'm coming here, I want to be honest, and I really want to change something.
Dude,
and it starts with myself.
It's
changing
you.
me.
You had a little bit of a censorship button, on the other podcast. I don't even know where the fucking button was. I don't even know what it looks like. I have no idea what it looks like, right? So I just
There was so much swearing going on. I had to be the mediator.
I do not swear all that often.
But you know
man.
what? The truth is I've been watching a lot of successful people, and most successful people that actually are talking are swearing constantly. We're drawn to this. We enjoy it. It makes you a real person. Sometimes tippy-toeing around everything isn't real. Sometimes you just need to be yourself, and that's what's happening here. Is when you're going off, this is just passion. I think a lot of people misunderstand it too. Sometimes you got to be in this room to understand that a rant for 5 minutes here doesn't mean that's how we are every single day in life.
No.
Just because you got upset and you were passionate and you were sharing something and you were loud and proud doesn't mean that that's how you conduct your day throughout the whole day.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Yes, I mean,
No, hang on a second.
yes.
Do you pee in a newly installed toilet?
No. You know what I do? I leave the wrappers on.
You leave everything on, really?
I actually
You've never peed?
No, I do flush the toilet though. I have to do that. I really love that. For some really weird reason, it's so personal. Like when you buy a toilet, it's personal. And when my customer gets me to put a toilet in, it's personal. It's a fresh start for them. It's a place it's your office for a guy typically. It's sometimes when you escape
I'm a little
to
surprised
places.
to hear that. I thought for sure.
I actually take the toilet paper and I make a little fold in it. I make it look like a hotel. I really love not to use.
Seriously.
Listen, come on. As much as people are nice, they hate us using their washroom.
No. I'm just talking about that.
And you
first
eat pretty
pee.
healthy, and you're Portuguese,
No,
my friend.
I know.
It could be bad.
I know. So let me guess. Let me guess. Would you use a shower?
In their house?
Yeah.
Never.
You just installed the shower.
I only run the water.
That's it. You just test it.
I do all
I'm
the tests.
a little surprised.
You know what? Actually, I just did a washroom for a gentleman. The builder failed in a whole bunch of areas. Plumbing pipes were touching. They cracked. The tub was moving. It split open. The overflow wasn't on tight. So I fixed everything. I did everything that I felt was necessary to have that project done right. And I said to the guy, I said, listen, I want you to spend a week doing everything and anything you could do in this bathtub. Bouncing, jumping, soak it, overflow it.
You want to see it if it...
And I want you, before I close the ceiling up, I want you to call me back and tell me if anything went wrong. And you know what? It was like we had fun.
You actually are probably changing my opinion because I do. If I install the toilet...
Yeah, I think it's too personal.
I do.
That's like
pee
you
in there.
asking me to let you have my wife and sleep with her tonight.
I know, but the
It's
thing
a
is,
washroom, man.
I did a Manny Monday where I was talking about it, and there was a handful of clients that said absolutely not. There was a handful of contractors that said absolutely not. But I would say about 90% of the people on there, the contractors on there, they're saying absolutely yes. I do it all the time. I just talked about a pee. I did not talk about a poo.
Yeah.
A lot of guys were talking about a poo.
Listen, I'm a guy.
But you are actually,
if there are any women
hearing
listening,
it from you, you're actually changing me to change my opinion about that and not do it anymore.
First of all, we're talking about this industry and not having good contractors or guys not doing the right thing. Can you imagine how many guys that aren't good contractors don't know how to go to the washroom? They shake, it goes on the wall. They shake, it's all over the toilet.
Well,
but here's another thing. They don't wipe it. They don't flush it. They don't close the toilet seat. People are very, you only get to know a person when you live with them.
I'm impressed. You think Mikey would pee?
Yeah.
I think he'd drop a couple farts in there. I think he'd close the door and not turn the fan on. The toilet seat would probably be sprinkled. How do you like that, Mike?
I didn't say it, Mikey. I didn't say it. I did not say it.
We're still,
all right. So I wanted to quickly
friends.
go back to fucking the goal thing. So you know what? You got a great idea. So at the end of every episode that we're gonna do, I'm gonna ask you. You're gonna ask me, and we're basically gonna ask each other this one simple question: What one little detail that you want to achieve, that you want to get to, one sort of goal?
Okay, so this is going to be a two-part, I think.
Okay.
One is going to be this podcast. For me, this podcast is not about money. This podcast isn't
we're
about,
not being paid to be here.
This podcast isn't about hurting anyone. This
No.
podcast isn't about trying to make new friends. this podcast is about this industry and the good things and the bad things.
Yes.
And if you're a bad person, you're going to hear about it.
Yes.
If you're a good person,
You'll hear about
I'm
it.
going to talk about it.
Yes.
When it comes to this goal, is it real estate? Is it a triplex? Is it building a home? Is it working for yourself? Is it, a new product? Is it getting away from construction and becoming a GC? Or, there's a lot of things you can do in this industry. Like we could we have so many angles. You and me are just talking about contractors, construction, but it's about buying material, selling material.
The question was about goal.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my goal. This year now being
Every episode, I'm going to ask you, and you're going to ask me.
Okay. So my first goal, me and my wife are building a bed and breakfast.
Nice.
I'm not going to talk too much about it. We're already in the process of it.
You should show it on Instagram.
I'm filming it actually. Yeah,
Are you?
Yeah. I started filming it, and then I got a bad taste in my mouth. A couple things happened for me that didn't happen.
Okay, so what's the goal?
So the goal this year is to get into real estate and get this bed and breakfast going, so that it's making some capital and making some money, so that I can take some profit in a year from now or some equity and do another project. And I've always wanted to do a triplex. A lot of my friends have done it, and it's really turned around for them. One of my friends has like 250 unit buildings. He's financially free, and he's young. He's in his 40s. Yeah. So one thing I want to tell you. I'm working with guys right now, talented guys that work for the city. And, some people are like, oh, that guy's
That's a little bit of an oxymoron. Talented guys that work for the city.
Yeah, and that's how I thought too. But then I found guys that are brilliant. They're 35, retiring, full pension.
Wow.
Working on their second pension. Who's the stupid, me or them?
Fuck.
Like I just spent this is my thing. I just spent 30 years in the industry trying to make a difference. I didn't do shit. I really don't feel like I did anything, but I'm going to make a change now. And that's why I'm excited. I've remotivated myself. I went through a little bit of this last year was, trying to reinvent myself, figure out who I am, what I want, where I'm. And this, you and me starting this right now, this is part of my goal. My goal with you.
Very cool.
I want to get on stage with you, and I want to spread the word. I want to have conversations.
Good.
I just want to talk to people.
Good.
So if I have one thing to say right now is I really want to take this podcast somewhere with you. That's my first goal.
That's what we're going to do with it. And I agree with you on that goal. I totally agree with you that this.
So I'm going to write this down.
This is coming back. This has come back, and this is going to continue. It won't be liked by everybody. It will be liked by a handful.
I don't want everyone to like it.
But it will be real.
Yeah.
It will not be fucking full of shit.
That's right.
Right? So
I have a lot to learn. So I'm hoping that I challenge somebody to teach me something.
Okay, so regarding a goal, like for this particular podcast, like I'm thinking what I get a kick out of is when I get reached out, and this happens once a week, when I get reached out by somebody that tells me that I've restored faith in the industry because of what they've seen me do.
You know what? I love hearing that. You just gave me some goosebumps, dude. I had to make a plan, and I had to look at my long-term goals.
That's important.
In a short time.
That's important.
I only have 10 to 15 years to become successful, but I know people that have done it between 5 and 10 years.
Yeah.
I think that if you have the right people, the right trades, the right customers, the right message,
yes,
and you do what you say,
yes.
I think a lot of people get lost with buying tools and spending money that they don't have, and I'm
being
one of those. I'm
being
one of those
celebrity.
people.
I know.
You get lost, dude, and time flies by, and then you kick yourself in the ass, right?
On that note, it is fucking amazing to be back here with Carlito. This is the Construction Life podcast starring Carlito and starring myself, and we'll be having more of these episodes with some guests that are brave enough to join the conversation.
Brave heart. It's great to be back, Manny. I love you,
that. Dude. And by the way, you're looking buff, dude.
Thanks, buddy.
You just motivated me. Tonight, I'm doing 50 fucking push-ups if I can get to it.
I do 150 every morning, man.
Straight.
150, dude.
You know that I
do 150 crunches and 150 push-ups.
I challenge you, and I'll do this challenge with you. You do as many push-ups in a row until you stop and keep making that number go until you get to 100.
Seriously?
You'll be amazed what your mind can do.
That sounds fucking hard.
No, it's not. It's what you
We
want.
We gotta go.
T.O. baby. Yeah.